Hi, today we're going to talk about how do you find the theoretical probability of an event happening. So here we have a picture of a guy with a whole bunch of marbles in a jar. And it says there are 100 marbles in this jar, 55 are brown. Oops, sorry. I'm noticing that needs to be slid over a little bit. 55 are brown, 20 are gray, 12 are light blue, 8 are dark blue, the rest are yellow. What's the theoretical probability of drawing each color? The way you find theoretical probability is we're going to create a fraction. The bottom of the fraction is the total number of possibilities. Well, there's 100 different marbles, so there are a total of 100 different possibilities or 100 different things you could draw. So let's start with brown, because we need to find the theoretical probability of each different color. Well, there are 55 brown, so the top of our fraction is just 55. It's just the part that are brown. Now, there's a couple things that we need to do. First, we have to simplify this fraction as much as we can. So this simplifies if we divide by 5, it becomes 11 over 20. So this is the probability as a fraction, 11 over 20. We could write that as a decimal, which is 0.55. Or we can write it as a percent, which is 55%. So these are all the different ways to represent the probability of drawing a brown marble. Some ways to think of it is we think we have a 55% chance of drawing a brown marble. Another way to think of it is 55% of the time I expect I will draw a brown marble. So if I draw, draw 100 different times, so I draw a marble out, put it back in, draw it again, put it back in 100 times, I expect 55 of them. Theoretically, that's what we expect. It's going to be brown. Okay, so let's move on now to gray. Well, it's still just 100 is the total. The part is now 20. And that can be simplified to 1 over 5 if we divide by 20 on the top and the bottom. And that just equals 0.2. As a decimal, it also equals 20%. So same as before, that means 20% of the time we expect to draw a gray marble, or there's a 20% chance that we're going to draw a gray marble. Okay, the next one is light blue. Hopefully you're catching on to how I'm doing this. There's 12 light blue, so there were a total of 100. That has not changed. Obviously, if you have a different problem, read what the question says to figure out what's the total. And 12 is the top, so light blue. Let's see, it looks like this is, I'm not quite sure. Let's see, I'm going to simplify that. Goes to, very interesting. We can divide each of them by 4, so that becomes 3 over 25. And then written as a decimal, it's 0.12 or 0.12. Written as a percent, it's 12%. So same as before, 12% chance of drawing light blue, or 12% of the time we expect it's going to be a light blue marble. 8 are dark blue, so you can catch on. 8 over 100. Same as before, we're going to simplify it. We're going to turn it to a decimal. We're going to turn it to a percent, and that's going to be 8%. So we expect 8% of the time to get a dark blue marble, or there's an 8% chance of getting a dark blue marble. Now here's this last one. The rest are yellow. Don't give us a number. Well, the total is still 100. That has not changed. But we have to do a little bit of math to figure out what is left over. So I'm actually going to do 100 in my calculator. I'm going to do 100 because that's my total, minus each of these other numbers. So I do 100 minus 55 minus 20 minus 12 and minus 8. And I didn't click enter until the very end. You probably can't see that, but there you go. I didn't click enter till the very end, and it ends up with 5. There are 5 left that haven't been accounted for, which means 5 of them are yellow. And we can do the same process with this as everything else. Change it to a fraction, change it to a decimal, or simplify the fraction, change it to a decimal, change it to a percent. And that's the amount of time we expect to get a yellow marble. So there you go. That is theoretical probability. I should say theoretical because in theory, that's what we expect is going to happen. In reality, we could draw 5 times and every single time we could get a yellow marble. Very low chance of that, right? A 5% chance of that happening. But heck, it could totally happen. But in theory, we don't expect it to. Thanks. Bye.